What we're seeing now is reminiscent of great market meltdowns of the past. Out here in Asia, we remember the 1997 Asian financial crisis. There was the global financial crisis that broke out in 2008. But what differs from those cases now is that it's the result of a policy announced by one leader, President Trump.
We're going to start being smart, and we're going to start being very wealthy again.
The tariffs announced by President Trump, which he believes will lead to a restoration of the U.S. economy, are also causing at least a short-term, very deep decline in markets across the globe. One additional source of concern is the way this trade war seems to be exacerbated by tit-for-tat retaliation. And just today, China said that it would retaliate against Trump's latest threat to raise tariffs on China by an additional 50%. And the Chinese government spokesman said that if the U.S. insists on its own way, China will fight to the end. And we do not see any negotiations yet between the U.S. and China. The biggest fear is a global recession. I think that would perhaps have elements of stagflation where, especially in the U.S., prices are going up due to the tariffs being passed on to consumers at the same time as there's a decline in investment and new spending by businesses. Because in these situations, sometimes the pessimism breeds pessimism and caution breeds caution, and the situation feeds on itself. That's when you get a recession that would be accompanied, in this case, perhaps by higher prices. So really a double whammy for everyday people, especially in the U.S., but also around the globe, both among exporters, not just China, but other countries such as Vietnam that have really relied on exports to the United States. But I also recall the pandemic in 2020, which was a huge concern for markets. It caused another market meltdown at that time, but ultimately was reversed by supportive government policies such as stimulus checks in the United States, and the fall in markets was short-lived. Some investors are seeing this as a time to buy on the dips, confidence that this is going to be short-lived, as the dip in 2020 was in the early days of the recession, but others are likely to remain cautious until the Trump tariff policy becomes clearer.